Okay, let's get right into it. A new and pretty powerful weather system is developing in the Bay of Bengal. So let's break down exactly what this means, where it's headed, and when you can expect the rain to arrive.
First up, a bit of good news. That system we were all watching, Cheniar, it's moved on. It is no longer a threat. So you can breathe a sigh of relief on that one. But our focus now has to shift to a brand new depression that's just formed, and this one definitely needs our full attention. So what are we actually looking at here? Well, overnight, what was just a disorganized area of low pressure has pulled itself together into what we officially call a depression. Basically, it's now an organized system of clouds and thunderstorms with a clear circulation. Right now, it's sitting just southeast of Sri Lanka, and it's already busy gathering strength from those warm ocean waters. And that, of course, brings us to the big question on everyone's mind. Is this thing going to power up enough to get a name? Will it officially become Cyclone Ditwa? Let's take a look at the chances. You know, the system is for sure intensifying, but there's a catch. Its path is going to take it really, really close to Sri Lanka. And that interaction with a big landmass, that can really disrupt a storm structure. It kind of cuts off its fuel supply, which makes forecasting its peak strength a whole lot trickier. So when you look at the probabilities, the models are giving it about a 40% chance of actually becoming a named cyclone. The more likely scenario, sitting at 60%, is that it will slam into the coast as a very powerful deep depression. And I want to be clear, that is still a very serious weather event. So you might be wondering, how is this thing getting so strong if it might not even become a cyclone? Well, to really understand its potential, we gotta look at the engine that's powering it. And it's so important to remember this. Don't get hung up on the cyclone label. Even if it peaks as a deep depression, it's still going to be a formidable system. The biggest threat here isn't going to be the wind. It's the massive amount of rainfall it's packing. This is really cool. This shows us its power source. Think of this system like it's breathing. It has this dual inflow. It's sucking in a huge amount of moisture from the warm equatorial waters. But at the same time, it's pulling in another stream of moisture all the way from the South China Sea. This double shot of energy is what's letting it get organized and strengthened so fast. Okay, so that's the science. But what really matters is, what does this mean for you, for your area? Let's break down the timeline and see who gets the rain, and just as importantly, when. So here's the big picture of how this is going to unfold. You can see the rain get started down south on the 27th, and then it just marches steadily north over the next few days. It really looks like the intensity is going to peak as it moves up the coast, with places like Chennai and northern Tamil Nadu seeing the most widespread heavy rain on the 29th and 30th. Now this table lets us zoom in even more. Notice how that very heavy rain zone literally shifts each day. It starts over Sri Lanka, then tomorrow it moves into southern Tamil Nadu. And then on the 29th, look at that. The bullseye for widespread heavy rain moves right over northern Tamil Nadu and Chennai. Okay, for our viewers in Sri Lanka, this is a particularly urgent situation. We are expecting a long period of very heavy rain over the next 72 hours. This is creating a high risk of flash floods and landslides, especially if you're in the central, northern, or southwestern parts of the country. Please be on high alert. And for everyone in Chennai, your weather is going to take a major turn on November 29th. The forecast calls for rain to start up in the pre-dawn hours, and then it's expected to become widespread and heavy right through the entire day on the 29th and continue into the 30th. All right, this brings us to the really essential safety information. Let's cover what you need to know to get ready for this system. First off, the winds. Now, we're not talking cyclone force winds here, but don't underestimate them. Coastal wind speeds are still going to be pretty high, gusting up to 35 kilometers per hour. That is more than enough to make the sea conditions really rough and, frankly, dangerous. So let me be crystal clear. The bottom line is this. Fishermen are strongly advised not to go out to sea until this system has passed. For everyone else, especially if you live in a low-lying area or in those delta and northern districts, the key takeaway is to prepare for some serious, potentially flooding rainfall. And please, stay tuned to all the official announcements from the government and the meteorological department. Now, there is one big piece of the puzzle that's still a bit uncertain. While the forecast for the coast is becoming pretty clear, the picture for the inland, western districts, well, it's a little less certain. How much rain they end up getting is going to depend entirely on the system's final track after it moves ashore. And that leaves us with the final, critical question that every forecaster is focused on right now.
Where exactly is this system going to cross the coast? The answer to that single question will determine which specific communities face the most severe weather. So please stay safe, stay informed, and we will absolutely continue to track this.